Proverbs 22. Let's continue to pray for those that's sick today, families that's had tragedies. Let's continue to pray for them.
Amen.
Good friend of ours passed away yesterday, and their family needs your prayers too. But I appreciate you faithful ones here today. And used to when I was a young preacher, and a bunch of folks would be out, I'd eat them apples here. I mean, it was rough on them as well. And of course, through the years with wisdom, you can't preach to them if they're not here.
That's true.
So I feed the flock. I feed the ones that come. So I appreciate you being faithful and coming. I know Brother James, I really miss him, and I know he's got a long ways to go, and so let's remember him. It's bad when you're always used to doing everything, and some of y'all haven't got there yet, but you might. But after I got that cancer, I got to where I wasn't able to do nothing. And it's hard to adjust to doing everything and everything you want to do to where you can't do nothing. And it's a big psychological adjustment. So I know Brother James having trouble with that. We love him, appreciate him. And I hope y'all miss me when I'm out. Probably don't, but you might. All right. Proverbs 22. Some of you may wish I wasn't up here to get on to you. Listen, if I didn't get on to you, it wouldn't love you.
That's right.
Preacher tells everybody what they want to hear. He ain't much of a preacher. All right, Proverbs 22. I'm going to talk to you about something today. It's kind of unusual. I'm going to relate a physical thing to a spiritual thing. Kind of like a type and shadow. But I'll bring it so you can see it, okay? In Proverbs 22, verse 28, he said, "Remove not the ancient landmark, which thy fathers have said." All right, now, in chapter 23, verse number 10, we have just about the same statement. "Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the fields of the fathers." Now, I want to bring a thought to you today, and that is the ancient landmarks. Now, we know in the Bible that there's many ancient landmarks. We know that as they went through the land and as they set in stone, they set landmarks. Moses, way back, said, now we're going to have landmarks. And when they entered the promised land, they would set up landmarks. We call them land stakes, or we call them land lines. And y'all all know about that. And there's been all kind of problems about landmarks through the years. I mean, there's been people shot at. There's been people, I'd even go on to say, that's been killed over land disputes, because people get funny when you start moving their landmarks. In other words, it's something that they inherited or they bought, and they want what they bought and they want what they inherited, and it's important. Well, God was the same way. God told them many times not to move those landmarks. It's because that what He had given them. And so when they would get in, when they would start moving the landmarks, they would get in trouble. Now let me talk to you about a few of our landmarks today to bring this thing up to date where you can get it. We have a lot of landmarks. We look, and when we see the Statue of Liberty, that's a famous landmark. A landmark that's in a harbor that when ships come into our country, they call her Lady Liberty. And that means what our country is. And then we have Mount Rushmore. We have there where all the famous presidents are, and they put them up there, and you see that, and you think of those men that helped found our country, and for us to have an America. Now, the America now is not like the America was then. They don't teach those things anymore. They don't tell their kids about them. But I'm going to tell you something. We could get like what it was in Joshua's day. The Bible said the generation after Joshua knew not the Lord. Now, why didn't they know the Lord? Because somebody had failed to teach the children and the grandchildren about the good Lord. Amen? We got there today. We said, well, that's not important. Listen, the history of our country is important. And the history of our Christian faith is more important. Amen? We need to teach them and bring them up in the ways of the Lord. Amen? So when you think about that, God had a reckoning day for them. It's the reason He said it so much. He said it a separate time. Don't remove those ancient landmarks. Now let me show you something today. We moved them today. We've come and moved our Christian faith, and they become modernism, and you know what liberalism is, and they become modernity, and they become conservatives, and they become fundamentalists, and they become legalistic. Amen. You know that bunch. And then we've got the most modern day, and that's contemporary. Amen. We've got contemporary churches. We've got contemporary music. Amen. And we've got contemporary preaching. And that's what we've got to today. You know what we've done? We moved our ancient landmarks. Churches change with the weather. Amen. And they change with the style. They think, well, we got to be like everybody else. And they'll tell us, if y'all change and get up-to-date music and up-to-date preaching, that you'll get a crowd. Well, I want to tell you something. The crowd's not going to heaven. Amen. The road is full, the broad way, of those that's going up in hell. But Jesus said it's a straight way. It's a narrow way. And few there be that find it. And He went on to say, not everybody that saith, Lord, Lord, is going to enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of the Father. You got to know Him to get there. Church is not the thing. Religion is not the thing. But we moved our landmarks.
We sure have.
And we Baptists are the worst. I know about Baptists because I is one. Amen. Now I know everybody else has too, but just because everybody else does, that don't mean you have to. All them other preachers, they'll say, well, you need to change. You don't need to be like that no more. That's out of date. Listen, honey, I'm right up to date. Amen. I'm listening for the trumpet, waiting on the sound. I'm right up to date. Amen. I hadn't changed in all these years and don't plan on changing. Well, you say, but preacher, we got to change. Not according to what God says. God never changed. Jesus said He never changed. And the Bible, the Word of God, never changes. So why should we change? We want to be like everybody else.
Come on.
We ain't everybody else. We are we. I don't know about you, but I'm going to do like Farron said in Sunday school. Out of the book of Jude, I'm going to earnestly contend for the faith. Mine's not changing. Amen. The Christian faith will never change.
That's right.
You say, well, you think we're to stand for them landmarks? Well, let's just look back. Look at all of his apostles. They all died a martyrdom death, history tells us,
Yeah, that's right.
except one. And John was exiled to the Isle of Patmos to give us the greatest book about the greatest ending of any story. Amen. Just think, if we didn't have the book of Revelation, we wouldn't have the end of the book. Now somebody said, well, so-and-so, he's had a new revelation, and this one's had a new one, and this one had a new one, and Jim Jones has come along, and David Koresh has come along. That don't surprise me a bit. Jesus said, that many come in that last day, saying, I'm the Christ. And they'd say, he's over yonder, or he's over there. You know what he said? I don't believe a word of it. Because he's the only Christ, he's the only Messiah, always has been, and always will be. He said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and all the in between. Amen. Thank God. I'm not moving mine.
Amen.
Since I've been to Jacksonville, and I won't say a whole lot about this, but I've had a land dispute. I got the plat to the subdivision, got the deeds to my property, got the numbers on it. I mean, drawed off. Been surveyed 5 times. 5 times. They surveyed it with the subdivision behind us, and then it got surveyed again. And then when they bought the plot, the guy bought the plot, he had it all surveyed again. And then when they marked my lot off, it got surveyed again. And I had somebody claim part of my land, and I had title insurance. Read the fine print. Amen. They don't pay over land disputes. And it cost me the sum of 2 attorneys to protect my ancient landmark. Never will forget what my attorney said. He said, well, if you just do this right here, we could settle this lawsuit. I said, let me tell you something. I come all the way up here to protect something that belongs to me. Amen. And there ain't no doubt it belongs to me. And I got an insurance policy that says it does. I've got an attorney that says it does. I got me and I say it does. So I'm not going to do nothing on this land that I don't want to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Amen. Why? Because it's mine.
There you go.
You got where I'm going?
Yeah.
I got landmarks that I've never moved.
Amen.
I've been preaching a long time.
Yeah.
And they say you ought to slide over. You ought to get up to date. And I hadn't moved not one iota. A lot of folks get up to New World every morning. Amen.
Amen.
They one thing today and one thing tomorrow. They preaching this today and this tomorrow. I got a lot of my preacher friends, they turn into hyper-Calvinists now. Amen. You're either born a sheep or a goat. You're born saved or born lost. I say, my Lord, how y'all getting such a mess? Thank God I'm glad salvation is for everybody. Amen. You just can't change it. That's one of my landmarks. And I ain't got to them yet. I'm going to start being careful on these introductions. Amen. I got to where I get wound up to get where I'm at. Thank God, it's good to get wound up. Amen. It's good to feel the Spirit of God.
Amen.
I'm glad I know what I got. Amen. And I'm glad I know who I believe. And I'm glad I know what I believe. And you say you sure are stubborn on what you believe. I am. I am.
Amen.
I'm stubborn about the Christian faith, and I ain't moving. Amen. Amen. They say, go ahead and boil me in oil. They say, go ahead and crucify me. They said, go ahead and stone me, amen. Stephen wasn't compromised.
Sure was.
He stood and he preached, and they didn't like what he said.
That's right.
Because he told them the truth, what they really were.
That's what to
Amen.
And the Bible said they got up stones and they began to get on him and stone him. And the Bible said he looked up into the heavens and saw the Son of God standing at the right hand of the Father with a smile on his face and went right asleep into the glory world.
Amen.
Amen. He didn't move his landmark.
Amen.
They'd say, now if you take all that back, we won't stone you. Well, he didn't.
He did.
And I ain't either.
Amen. Bless him, Lord.
Now let me show you a few. Number one, the first landmark. The Bible is the final authority.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes, it is.
Amen. That's right.
That's it.
The Bible is the final authority.
Amen.
You say, why are you so adamant about that? We're all in search for truth,
Yes, we do.
right?
Amen.
Everybody wants to know the truth. Well, not everybody. Because a lot of folks rather hear a lie than had the truth. I've had a lot of church folks that rather hear a lie than had the truth.
There you go.
They'd rather me tell them how sweet and nice and kind and all this, and everything's rosy, you know, and everything's okay, and I never got on to them about nothing. Now that's a lie. But a lot of folks don't like the truth.
That's true.
You're right.
That's
Somebody said truth don't hurt. Yeah, it does. It does. When you believe in a lie and somebody tells you truth, it hurts. But the truth will set you free. Amen. Jesus says, sanctify them through. Woo, I feel good this morning. Sanctify them through thy word. Thy word is true.
Yes, it is.
What is true? Jesus said, I am true. The Word of God is the final authority.
Yeah.
If what you believe and why you believe it is based on what I believe and what I think, that's wrong. What you need to believe is what the Word of God says.
Hey.
Time will come when they won't endure, saying God. They don't want the truth no more.
Amen.
I'm still aggravated about moving the Ten Commandments. What about you?
Amen.
I'm from Alabama. Somebody said, well, I don't like going, well, I don't care who you are. I like God's 10 Commandments. I've never read where He done away with them. Have you? You got them hanging there on the wall. Somebody around here likes them.
Amen.
Yeah, that's right.
But we sat around and they moved.
Yeah.
This high Supreme Court decided that you can't have the 10 Commandments there at the Capitol. Bunch of hypocrites. It's in there where they meet. Roll above the building they go in. Huh? They have a chaplain in the House and in the Senate, and they get up and pray every time before they start, but they won't let a bunch of school kids pray at school, or read a Bible,
There you go.
or have a preacher there.
There you go.
We got drugs, we got killings, we got rape, we got everything going on at the schoolhouse simply because we took God out. We moved our landmark.
Amen.
Thank God for Mr. Zeke Kimbrough. Read the Bible every day, prayed every day, said the Pledge of Allegiance. Now they don't even know Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. You don't want to teach kids. Hey, you better teach them.
Yeah.
Or somebody else will teach them.
Amen.
And what they learn, you won't like it. The Bible is the final authority. It's indestructible. Jesus said heaven and earth go pass away, but my word, this thing's going to be here when the world's on fire.
That's true. That's it.
It's already settled. So why argue with it? I got people